Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and in this video we're going to do is learn the Roy programming language. So as you know, I like to kind of learn lots of programming languages because it's interesting to see how different languages try to address the problem of creating a language that is productive yet efficient and address all these different needs or demands on a programming language. So always find that really interesting. And I always like to kind of head over to REPL and take a look at the list of programming languages. And we've kind of done most of them. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones I haven't done. I mean, maybe CoffeeScript at some point. But Roy is really the only one I can think of that I really haven't spent time with. Maybe Basic. I don't think I've done a video on R yet. And the rest looks like we have done a video on at some point. I mean, all these different Python libraries, not so much, but you get the idea. PHP, yeah, we've done all this. Okay, and Rockaway did a whole separate thing on. Cool. So what I am going to do is open up a Roy REPL. There we go. Okay, let's learn about it. So Roy is an experimental programming language that targets JavaScript. It tries to meld JavaScript semantics with some features of common and static functional languages. Interesting. Okay, so let's open up to see when's the last time someone updated it. Oh, okay, so there hasn't really been a commit since 2013, so, and it's been archived. So this is not really, this seems like it's probably like a deadish language, I'm assuming, unless someone's forked it and continued to maintain it. Okay, but let's try it out anyways. Okay. Now let's see here. We have some resources on incomplete docs. Nope, that's dead. Oh, okay, so this language is dead. Okay, well, luckily the Wikipedia has some information on it. No, it's on a monad. Maybe GitHub? Nope. Frankly, it's all dead. Let's see here. Maybe go to this GitHub. Here we go. So let's see here. Let add n equals n plus 2. Okay, so far that looks a lot like JavaScript. Let's look for something a little bit more interesting. I know that's it. So, then that makes me pretty surprised that the REPL decided to use this as one of its languages. Okay, well, without docs, and since that hasn't really recently been updated, I mean, it looks like it just works like, for the most part, like JavaScript with a few functional features. So I can just say let cheese equal cheese, cheese, and then I can console.log cheese. Yep. Let's take a look at these examples again. Yep, console.log hello world. World source target. Let's see what this does with. What does with do? So you get source hello target world. That didn't do anything too interesting. So what is this? I should be the, oh, okay, I see what happened. Okay, so this is an object. So console.log, I'm console logging this object, and then it says with this object, so it combines the two, and thus this property overrode this property. So that's why we only get this. Okay. Does that only work for objects? Let's try this. That makes me curious. Okay, if I say 1, 2, an array, and then let's say I try to say with 3, 4, what do I get back? I get an error. My number is not, okay, good. So this is an object thing. Now let's see here. If I say name Alex with, oh, close that string, with age 35, do I get back one object with both properties? Yep. Okay, so with is just a way of combining objects. I'm alright with the way the spread way it works right now in JavaScript, so I don't see that as much of a. But again, this was back in 2011, so that might have been a nice feature back in those days. Okay, so let's take a look at the tracing monad feature here. So let trace monad return x log return. Let's just run the code to see what the result is. Binding 1. Let trace monad equal so it looks like it's you're looping over some data. This looks like, I mean, from my understanding of monad, I'm not quite sure how this is a monad. But I mean, for the most part, my understanding of monad is a light understanding of thinking it's essentially a flattening of sorts. But yeah, I mean, this looks like more like probably what it's doing, something more similar to like OCaml's like pattern matching. Okay, so like 1, the W, let x equal 2, 3. I'm assuming for each one, it's returning x f console log. Yeah, not super clear on what that's doing based on the syntax. I see at the end it's returning the result of each one. So essentially this is like doing a function, which I think is f. And then for each one, it's console logging this function. Return xx. Yeah, no, that's just kind of a confusing build without being more familiar with something similar to that. And let's take a look at some of the other ones. GCD, let's take a look at this. Let GCD equal AB. Okay, this is just defining a function. This looks a lot like OCaml. If B equals 0, then A. Else GCD equals B. Okay, so this is just a function, but again, it's written in a sort of very OCaml-y or rescript type syntax. So let's see here. So what we're saying here is that if 35 is equal to 0, then return A. Otherwise, do it again, but this time you're passing in. You're passing in the B is going to be A modulo B. And A modulo B, let me think about that. So that would be like 49. So basically you take the remainder and then you would do that and you keep doing it until there's no remainder. So let's see what you end up with. 7. Okay, so this is like a recursive function. One thing that's nice, you don't have to use the rec keyword like you would in OCaml. But overall, I'm not quite sure what's kind of going on here. And it doesn't look like anyone's using this language or that the language is really in development anymore. There's no documentation for it, so I guess I'll let this language perish, I guess. I mean, I'm always more the merrier when it comes to programming languages, but you gotta provide me documentation. But yeah, always interesting to see kind of how some things are done. But I'll leave it at that. You guys have a great day and enjoy. And yeah, again, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Head over to devnursery.com to join the Slack and Discord community, and I'll see you guys in the next one.